just Jack Harlow versus Mac Miller and their general levels of respect in hip hop. What do you think the biggest reasons and differentiators are? Because as time went on, I think initially I was proud to be an early Jack Harlow fan, but I think over time, this whole TikTok culture and kind of teenage girl, it seems, fan base, or just girls in general, kind of makes you
not
view the
music
music in a different way. I'll still be a fan, but it does give you, I guess I feel a little less proud to be at the party and be like, yo, I'm a Jack Harlow fan. Now I feel like a dick rider for saying that shit. But from a Mac Miller standpoint, I feel like he never was that, like, I don't know, pretty boy Casanova type. Mm-hmm. And he kind of had the respect to like the real hip hop core fan base. So I'm curious, like, how you view their music differently and like why you think their legacies might be different or similar.
Yeah, obviously rest in peace to Mac. So I think for me, bro, it was clear from day one. So that's like the gift and the curse of having that hit record, right? I think the first introduction to the world of Jack was What's Popping. And bro, that's a massive record. So I think, guilty or not, he's gonna be held to that standard of like, if you want a pop banger, go to fuck, that's what's for Mac, bro, it was grimy, fun kid music, right? But the way he raps is like a rapper's rapper, bro.
Yeah, like
and
real
it's like,
lyricist.
wow, like why is this like 17-year-old kid like lyrical like this? And then as it progressed, like I don't remember any album, like go back to Kids or Best Day Ever, like those mixtapes as well. Like, bro, there's content there. Like shit that, like he's saying shit that matters, bro. You know what I mean? Whereas, like to your point earlier, like everything thus far, because again, I don't want to put like a ceiling on this fucking kid when he's like 2 albums in, right? Like Jack.
Yeah.
But like everything thus far does feel like frat music party. Like that's just, put them all, let's have a good time. And like, that's fine, but there's really no substance there. Whereas like, bro, like I'm telling you, like when we were just vibing in Colombia, I listened to the entire Faces mixtape for Mac the entire trip because like, bro, song 1 didn't sound like song 2, but song 1 through 18 went together and like you're hearing this whole story being told. Like besides having a good time and loving women, like I haven't heard a story from Jack Harlow yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the difference is, right? Like the storytelling isn't there yet. Whereas I think from day one, there were signs of it with Mac, and then he reached this area that in his life from like fucking 18 until he died, that it was just like phenomenal storytelling with no ego, dude, vulnerable as fuck, heartbroken. And it was like, yo, how could you not fucking relate to this?
Right.
Whereas I think like, if you're not in a fun, vibey mood, you're like, bro, I don't want to listen to like What's Poppin' or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas with Mac, like there's a song for whatever mood you're in. Happy, sad, over the top party, super depressed. Like there were so many levels to it. Whereas again, I don't want to put it, but as of right now, the limited content we have, he's only been out for, like you said, 4 years.
Yeah.
There just hasn't been a change. Like everything has been the same.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting you brought up the frat point, because I remember that was kind of the biggest criticisms of Mac. One of the biggest criticisms of his music was that a lot of people were pigeonholing it into being frat music. I do think the introduction was different, to your point, because like I remember Nike's on My Feet and I forget the other song. Is it Kool-Aid, Pizza and Kool-Aid, or Kool-Aid and Pizza?
I can't remember, but yeah, something like that. Yeah,
those were definitely like gritty, like more old school hip hop beats. So I think that intrigued people much more. They're like, oh, who's this white kid who's like,
right, who's trying to like
for the culture?
Exactly. Yeah. Like not trying to take from it, or like it felt like, yo, this kid gets it, and like he's gonna make it his own. But like this is some like if you removed his voice and put like a fucking Talib Kweli on that, it would make sense, because it kind of feels like that like hip hop from the core, as opposed to like a new age poppy version of hip hop. So I think that's what people really appreciate a lot about Mac.
For sure.
One of the things.
And of course that does influence the makeup, the demographics of the audience, that the fan base. And I think even like, for instance, Justin Bieber in the beginning, every fucking man or boy hated Justin Bieber.
Hated that name.
Because anyone in his fan base was basically a 12-year-old girl. And if you liked any of his shit, you better listen to that shit in the closet and let nobody know.
No one know.
Whereas now, everybody's listening to Justin Bieber with no shame. Like, I've always personally liked his music, but now I don't feel weird about saying it. I feel mature. Whereas now, I don't know if I could walk into a room and say I'm a Jack Harlow fan without people kind of looking at me sideways like, oh, you kind of like that cookie cutter shit that's for the girls or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll evolve, bro. Like, I think, again, if he gives us content that evolves, like, I think it's going to be hard for anyone not to be a Jack Harlow fan, right? Because say what you want about the content, dude, the quality level of Jack Harlow is extremely high. Oh, yeah. This guy is a very good, like, songwriter. Mm-hmm. So he's going to get the respect regardless. It's just, is he going to have the ability to, like, move away from the great captions and one-liners and actually give us a story that we should care about, as opposed to, hey, let me tell you about this really great time I had in Turks and Caicos with Drake and we fucked mad bitches. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's phenomenal, bro. But what else are you going to do to engage me for the other 45 minutes of this album?
For sure. And I guess in a nutshell, we just want to see him be even more vulnerable than he is at this point. Because as of now, the story is this man gets every bitch on the planet, has all the money in the world, has 80 years left of life. Yeah. But I guess people want to hear the deep and dark tales that we may not already hear about, just so we can humanize him a bit. Yeah, he's taking W after W.
Yeah, and good for him, bro. I think it's deserved. He hasn't done anything to prove us wrong about that, but yeah, I'm excited for it, bro. But number-wise, it's gonna do crazy numbers, like
for sure.
It's gonna go number one. Like, it's not gonna be whatever that girl's name was, like Holly Ray or Fabio Four, and like 20K and be a flop.
No,
like,
never.
Bro,
I mean, if that were to happen, they'd be turn on
YouTube
it's
ads
done. Or some
but
shit.
But even think about it, like, even like dude, there was a lot of money behind Corday, and like he flopped. You know, like from a number standpoint, that first week release was atrocious, right? Like, I'll put a lot of money on that. That does not happen to Jack. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Harlow's fan base is way too strong for that to ever
happen.
Yeah.
So again, it's gonna do numbers. It's just really, I think what Blair and I are saying, we're intrigued about the content. But put in the comments. Obviously, we'll do a reaction as well when the album drops.